Welcome to the Emerging Professional at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and a tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is the art of law, leadership, and IPR, building legal legacies. We have with us Professor Dr. Deevanshu Shrivastava, founding dean and professor at JL Bajaj Institute of Law, to explore his inspiring journey through legal academia, policy consulting, and leadership. With over 12 years of experience in shaping law schools and nurturing future legal professionals, he has been building curriculum development, legal research, and the evolving role of technology in education. But beyond the lecture halls and courtrooms, we will also dive into his personal passions, life beyond academia, and so welcome Professor Dr. Devanshu Shrivastava to today's coffee conversation.
Thank you so much, sir, for inviting me and looking forward for more of academics and lot more of outside academics, as you rightly mentioned. So this
Yes.
surely would be an interactive thing and a great pleasure for me to be the part of the show.
I just had my earlier coffee with a speaker. He is part of the advisory board of Christ University. At Coffee Con, we started doing panel discussion also. So we would like to have a panel discussion on AI in legal for law students.
That would be great. That would be really great. It's one of
Yeah.
the, you're trying to be a bridge between the two ambits, which is very less talked about, but it's a need of an hour to be talking about more of that.
Sure. So we'll connect and give some distinguished panelists and have this insightful conversation. So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation and a legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, uh, and author of 15 books. We help law firms, corporate legal, startup SMEs with world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So let me explain you the format, Professor. It's divided into three parts. First round is your professional journey. Second is your personal. And the third is a rapid fire, the fun round. So my first question, but you won't go without a gift, but you have to be witty, fun, and quick. Then you get to win this book, which will be autographed and sent to you.
Perfect.
So my first question, what got you excited, motivated in teaching and leading law college?
So it brings back to me that the family that I come from too. So I come from a family of lawyers. I'm a fifth generation into the legal domain. And as I said, and adding that bit to it, I do not say my blood group is B positive. I say it's LLB positive. So when my father, with more than 40 years of civil side practice and still practicing in Gorakhpur District Court, my elder brother with more than 15 years of experience and practicing at Allahabad High Court, I was destined to be a practitioner. So during my 5-year law course, I took a path that yes, the next year where I'm ending with my or I'm graduating there, what I only had as an option was to join the litigation. But then I took a path which even nobody in my family was ready on. I took that journey to write my CLAT examination and to go for the master's in the law. So that master's was brought with an all India rank with 49 that led to me to the National Institute University Bhopal. And I took a domain of intellectual property rights as my specialization. And Amirji, tell you this. The moment that I was opting for a specialization with intellectual property rights, each person in my family with a legal background said, this is one domain where we have not studied of. So whatever you are going to take it at your own risk. Take it with a point that there would be no exposure from our end. It would be all you alone in that particular path. And that one step which I took, and as I'm so grateful that I took that step and did it all my own. The second step, as soon as before my LLM ended with my second years, by 2012, the UGC NET exam happened. And believe me, knowing nothing about that such an exam do exist, my teacher, my mentor, Professor Alam at the NLIU Bhopal said that, okay, today we'll only have a lecture unless you all are not going to fill this particular form. As a student, he said, okay, our teacher has asked us to do this. We'll first go and fill the form. On the point where I'm not knowing anything of why I'm going to fill this form itself and what would be the implications or what would be the implications of this particular form. We filled that form, we set for the exam, and by God's grace, by hard work, and as I say, it's the fortune is with the brave itself. I cleared that exam. So once that exam is clear, I came to know, okay, that this is a UGC NET exam, which is the base or the basic criteria for being an assistant professor in any of the universities, be it so it's public or a private university in any country. And the second stage, which is a JRF exam, I try to, and this exam happens every 6 months, and it is conducted under the ambit of the University Grants Commission at a national stage itself. The second attempt of that, I said, okay, let me sit for a junior research fellowship, which is also the second stage of that particular exam. And fortunately or unfortunately, I again cleared my UGC NET exam in law. So this was 2012, where not only I post-graduated, earned an LLM degree, I also cleared UGC NET twice in the law domain. And looking back today, 12 years, I would only say that yes, it was one particular path which I totally believe that was destined for me to take. And that's how my academic journey has started. And since then, I've been fortunate enough to work with institutions at a very young and early stages, help them to not only nurture them, but as well as to establish them to a point. In the meanwhile, I also took a position to establish the public policy school, one of its kind in central India. And then today here I am with GL Bajaj Group of Institutions establishing their law school.
Beautiful. So, Professor, with over 12 years in legal academia and leadership roles, how has the approach to curriculum development evolved over the years?
I must say this is a very pertinent question, and this is one question which, as soon as we are developing, as soon as we are progressing, would always go hand in hand. So, to be very honest, it's just like adaptation, and I'll use that word, borrowing it from the copyright laws. Adaptation is a perfect thing that we need to have it as an inbuilt progressive career thing, as an inbuilt progressive societal thing. We are not adapting today. Look, this wonderful talk that we are having 3 years 5 years back, and I'll say this is the most advantageous thing which COVID has given all of us today, at a point where we were taking, and I'm not saying that the technology only arose 5 years back, the Skype and other forms were do existing, but taking it in this particular form, that it would now become as a part of our daily routine. There's hardly any day where I do not access the Zoom. I do not get interact in any of the video calling or the video conferencing thing itself. So adaptation from 2012, as we were progressing ahead, we got some wonderful laws, and law was one particular thing that was coming on. We studied criminal laws. There was IPC way back at 2013, we saw a major amendment under the IPC, which is showcasing that the laws are not obsolete. Laws are something which is very well and at par to what and technology and the society is progressing on. So this adaptation of whatever is happening in the society in the forms of law is incorporated in the law school. So we as academicians, we have to be at par to what has been taught. So recently we saw the criminal laws of our country getting repealed and a new set of criminal laws getting into force. So as academicians, when we conduct our board of studies, a very important component which my friends from the academia would definitely understand, but for the sake of my friends who are not from the academic domain, so board of studies happens each year. Many places it's happening at 6 months basis, which is the prime responsibility, and it's a board established at each of the institution, which not only revises the syllabi, which not only amends the syllabi, but also incorporates and makes sure that what we are teaching at a law school, the law students who are studying these particular set of laws shall be apprised and shall be educated to that particular law for which is utilized when they are entering the domain of the legal profession. And this brings us towards what is being there in the society and how they are going to bring it on. The recent and a very, very last example that I'll cite before coming to you is the advent of AI. Now, AI today, as a part of how AI is affecting the copyright and forms of IPR, is also incorporated as one of the units when I teach intellectual property rights. AI as how it would be affecting the criminal laws is also one of the very important aspects of how they are being brought under the criminal law domain. And AI, how they are affecting the cyber laws or the banking laws, are also taught as one of the fresh units towards. And that is how we revise, we amend, and bring this syllabi of what we teach at the law school to what is required from us as law schools for our young law legal minds as well.
Wow. So you have leading me to my questions flow. My first question would be the first one will be the AI, as the world is all talking about AI. And in earlier my conversation, I said we'll be having a panel discussion. Legal education today is evolving. How do you see technology, AI, legal tech reshaping the way law is taught and practiced in India, and what more changes are required the law students are prepared when they enter the law firms or the corporate legal teams, they are equipped with these tools?
So, a very important thing before I answer this particular query itself, a caveat to my answer is AI is just a tool. And this I've been saying continuously, not only as a legal professional, not only as a law teacher. I only am in this fact that yes, law is in hand with the AI tools and the development. And I'll just go 20 years back when I was a law student from 2005 to 2010. And we used to spend hours in library. A case law was given to us in the classroom by a law teacher, and each one of us were in the library spending hours and hours to read and to get that particular volume of book, which was limited in number, which was hard to access. And then by the time I was into my fourth years and fifth years comes the legal databases for us, which just with a plug of a pen drive at that particular format, you just have to enter the keywords and things were there. So the source of knowledge remains the same. The access to the source was enhanced a bit. And since then to what we see today, it is all within. And as an academician, when we impose or when we get these legal databases to our campuses, the first and foremost requirement that it should be an IP based access. It should be with the apps that the students can access it in the classrooms, at their hostel rooms, 1 a.m. in the night or 6 a.m. in the morning. And these all things have developed the access to the knowledge itself. And I'm so thankful that these technologies were developed. And as a result of which, even during the core lockdown period of COVID itself, the education was one thing which was not at a stop. It was continuously growing. We were adopting new ways to get it up. And that helped us to take that thing. So the new era of legal tech, the AI, law is at par with them. Now, answering the last part of your question is what else is required in the law? So, if I'm talking about with the Indian perspective per se, Indian laws today are not covering the AI and the legal tech with a dedicated piece of legislation. Now, when I say a dedicated piece of legislation, I mean that somehow or indirectly, this would be inclusive in this is what the approach is right now. And as we know, the technology is changing. That today, if the law or by the process of which the law is being made, we'll try to get a law on AI. By the time we might have something enhanced version of that AI, for which law may or may not be capable enough to cater at that particular moment. So, a dedicated enactment, yes, the government has done a great step of bringing the DPDP Act. It took time to get the DPDP rules, and where we compare, I know this is not at all of a comparison where we are comparing the GDPR of Europe with that of the DPDP of India. And the reason is very clear. And I'll be very honest, we saw a very recent change in the payment system of our own country, the UPI, the DBT. Now, these processes, these things, we saw how, and look what a change we had. We saw that how there was a bundle of files presented by the finance minister when he or she was delivering the annual financial statement, popularly called as the budget of our country. To today, we just see a tab out there where entire thing is being taken on. Now, these all things have not only helped to utilize, to save our times, to give us a good access to certain things. It actually is. I have been on a very lighter note and adding that bit thing there again. Is the broom of our houses is now replaced by a vacuum cleaner, is now enhanced by a robotic vacuum cleaner. So where you are there in your kitchen getting your cup of coffee, in the meantime, that robotic vacuum cleaner has already cleaned your drawing room. So it is a tool, it is an enhanced tool, and it will enhance day in, day out. Something beyond what we have not been expecting onto, and something that we are ready. I would end by saying it is the artificial intelligence, and the natural intelligence has created this artificial intelligence, and in no case it can be vice versa.
Wow. Okay, let's go to the next question. What has been the most rewarding challenges in academic leadership, according to you, as you have served as an associate dean of GD Goenka, head at Jagran Lake City University? So your experience will add value to our conversation.
Perfectly. I'll tell you, any domain is irrespective of the fact that it would not have challenges. And I guess, Amirji, you would agree with me more than anybody else here. If it is not challenging, I guess it is not demanding. So few of us do love these challenges. And it has rightly been said, until as you don't have a challenge. Answering your query, I will not say there is only one set of challenge that has been disturbing or coming on. There has been challenges by a wonderful team that we have at the academia level. We overcome that challenge, and then comes another set of challenges. This is how I guess I see my life as well, both personal and professional. That it is about the challenges, it is about how we face these challenges and then take it up to. Just now to club, the challenges were many. The challenges are at three stakes. The three stakes, or the three stakeholders, as I say popularly, are first and foremost the students. So the challenges with the students of what I have seen from ages from going or developing, and with the varieties at the state universities, at private universities, at national universities, the ambition of the students in the legal domain is of going off shortcuts, is going that how this can be done in a very easy format and given and delivered to it. Unfortunately, and I have been saying this regularly on all the forums, the two domains, I'm not saying that I'm disregarding the other domains, but the two domains of studies, the higher education studies, the medical and the legal, are the two domains where you will always find people, be it so with the gray hairs and whatever you find it, you'll always find them doing practice. So a medical practitioner, even he's the best surgeon in our country, he would still say, no, I am practicing surgery. Similarly is with a legal professional, an advocate, with more than 40 years, with more than 50 years, with grayest of all the hairs, he'll still say, I practice law. And the only reason why I say they practice law is, again, these are two domains where you can't say that I'm an expert of this thing and the next thing that I'm performing, I'll sure should get a success. So the only two domains which in each of it, you can't say I have an experience of previous, I've done a similar case. You'll not find the same case. And that is the most challenging part. So each year, each batch, each subject, each unit that I'm teaching is a challenge for me. But as why we have been created as the best creation by the God itself, is the best warriors of him, is that the challenges are there, we'll have to overcome those challenges. Some may be overcome to an extent, giving us the power, giving us the confidence to take up a new challenge. Some may not be at par to that have competed or completed that particular challenge as well. So challenges with the students have been there. Challenges with my domain is something which is very less talked about, is how me, and when I say me, I include all my fellows in the legal domain is the legal academia or the academicians. They are not that recognized, and we do not have any such authority or a body to address our issues. When it comes to salary, we do not have a at par or a particular hierarchical strength to take it off. The government, the state central universities are somewhere dealing with seventh pay commission, eighth on the verge of coming. State universities are dealing, some of them are dealing with sixth or seventh. Private universities, some are doing very good, some not that good, and some even not even at par to what could have been a possible thing. So there lacks a unification. And this unification is something which specifically in the academic domain is a lot of talk about. And when I talk about legal academia per se, we do not know whether it's the UGC, whether it's the Bar Council. The Bar Council of India is with the legal education. But trust me, when I talk about the legal education, the legal academia is left out from that legal education itself. So I feel that would be the most challenging part towards how we are going to take that thing ahead.
Wow. My next question, Professor. You have organized moot courts, symposiums, legal aid events. How important are these experiential learning opportunities for law students? And what more should be done? Okay, they are going through experiential learning to prepare themselves for the real life corporate world.
Amarji, I guess that's the most pertinent question. One thing with my limited experience of past 12 plus years, I have been advocating and I have been following one thing that ships, as we say lightly, ships are not, the real test of the ship is not at the shores. It is always at the high tides where you can test the character of a ship. Similarly, and as I said, and I borrow it from the medical profession itself, you find once a medical student is there, the last 6 months or something on that particular point, he has to go to a hospital. He has to perform those particular tests. He has to be, when he or she is taking up his or her master's, he's nothing called but a junior resident or a senior resident for that matter, where major time he or she has to spend in an hospital under a doctor or something for that particular matter. Similarly, these exercises like the moot courts, the legal aids are equipping our students of what they have studied in the court in the classrooms to go and practice. Adding to that is an internship component of it. And when I say internship, I'm again blessed with that particular feature that we at all the institutions where I've been associated in the past or will go in the future and in the present, the first component of incorporating the moot courts, the legal aids, the internships is inculcating them in the main curriculum part itself. So every summer vacation time, where the Bar Council through the legal education mandates for a minimum time period of internship of 3 weeks, the 21 days, we kept it. That's a minimum standard. We'll always take a week ahead with it. So minimum for 28 days has to be there for a student to go for their internships. I have been, I'll not use a word, but I have been a devil academician in legal domain. And the reason why I say this, because I have been clearly saying this to all my young law and legal minds as well, that you are not going to get a summer vacation and to go to have a family outing with your family members. The summer vacations are your main time of what you have studied the entire semester. Go and do your internship. Be an apprentice, be a junior. To even nowadays, and I'm so thankful to the former Chief Justice of India, when he has opened a structured formula of how even a law student can go and have a clerkship with the judges. This is for my aspirations who are aspiring to become judges in their life for clearing their judiciary exams. For those who are practicing litigation, this is a good time where you are going to spend time with the leading lawyers of our country. And similarly, for those who are eyeing for the corporate houses as well, they can go and have their internships at the leading corporate law firms and understand how and what are the nuances towards that particular point. These internships definitely brings a change twofold. First is what they have learned, they go and practice, they get to learn it with the first hand experience of applying them in a real case laws or the real case that is happening with the help of our seniors. And second is when they go and interact with their peers from various other law schools, they do understand that what different thing they are doing and what and how they're doing. Similarly, in a moot court competition, I have always been saying, you might be the ace of my college, but when you're going and representing my college into a moot court competition at a national or international stage, you are going to meet the aces of the other institutions. And that is where, and believe me when I say, a teacher teaching and a peer teaching, the advantage of peer teaching today would be more. This you can see in your own home as well, where as a father, as an elder, when we tell our kids or when we tell our youngers to not to do this or to do this, they won't understand it in the first go. But if their peers in the same society, in the same building, the same apartment, the same school or college, they say they are doing this or they are not doing this, it has an additional advantage over them. And they understand it that way. So I may use this term in Hindi is खरबूजे को देख खरबूजा रंग बदलता है. And that exactly do happens not only at the moot court competitions, the internships and various other things, which is I call it as the co-curricular part of their curriculum itself.
Beautifully you said, sir. Okay. Now, uh, let's come to your role as a founding dean of GL Bajaj Institute of Law. What's your vision for shaping the next generation of legal professionals?
I guess you are asking the secret of establishing this particular place. But again, I do not believe, and I'll call it that I would share it more. I may get an appreciation, I may even get a criticism, and I value the criticism more because that helps to shape me more. So my vision, along with my wonderful team that I have out here, is only one, that let a fresh one who is coming right after their 12th to join a 5-year law course should know. And our role as a legal institution and as my role at GL Bajaj Institute of Law would be to open a buffet in front of that young mind and let that particular student choose in his or her plate what suits him the best. Some may like the sweet side of corporate lawyering. Some may like this, the very spicy side of litigation as well. And some may try a mixed version, what we or I generally call it as the judicial side of it. So my only aim would be three E's: to educate them, to equip them, and to let them equally have an opportunity or equal taste of all the things, and then let them be confident enough to choose what suits them the best.
Ah. So, my next question will be, Professor, what are the key elements a dean should consider for having a working relationship with the trustees of the college?
Uh, I would be very honest again. Either call me, and I'm being totally with clear. I've been in touch with not only the trustees or the management of my own institutions, but fortunate enough to know other managements as well. At various forums, we get to interact. Believe me when I say that when a management establishing, and I'm telling fortunately with my present institution itself. Now, the management here has already established a management school, an engineering school, a technology with more than 20 years of experience with it. Now, when they plan that they should come out with a law school as well. The success, I would say, the role that a dean plays is first the trust from the management. The management people, by hiring a good person, by hiring a person which they think to be a very person or a very progressive person, have now given the baton to the team. So they have given the baton. They want a very good law school. They want a successful law school to be taken on to. And when I say successful, I am particularly not limiting my successful definition to the finances only, but also the outcome or the product that is going to come out to the market. That the word of mouth about my particular law school by the products itself speaks to my success. So the management with their least interference are there to support, because they believe that it's us as dean, as a faculty member, as a team who is running a law school. The entire duty, the entire strength, the entire face of their law school would be this particular team itself. And that is how the true bonding between, and you can see any of the institutions to be coming on to it's our duty now as a team, what the baton that they have given to us as a last hurdle of the 400 meters, it's our duty to touch the line and to get that cup for them, to get that laurel, to get that glory for that particular management who is nothing. And I have never considered the management to be an inseparable part of how they have been running, whether it's a law institution, whether it's an engineering or a management institutions. And successful institutions, management, I consider myself to be a part of management, and management consider themselves as an inseparable part of what the law school would be all about.
Wow. So, Professor, you must have had various memorable student moments. So, can you recollect and share what were they?
Uh, I guess this is the toughest question that I've been ever been bombarded with. Believe me when I say each student of me, and here I definitely recall that my memory is that of an elephant memory. So I have rejoiced in each of the success story, and it ranges from as um, small as winning of my team whom I coached the moot court competition, when they not only won at the national stage but also when they got a chance to represent India and they won there, to even the sports competitions which they have won, being an underdogs to that tournament, and they win that particular cricket match. To major of my students, and I now proudly say this thing, that over 38 students of mine are now judges. And this is one very important thing when I say that each of them, I might not have become a judge, but believe me, it's many a times it's much better to be a kingmaker rather than to be the king. By that way, I see that I am king in the 38 places where I could have been an opportunity to get a king at only one place. So these small rejoices have been there with me. I have felt the happiness in seeing and promoting my students to write their research papers, not only to write, but the first time when they write a research paper on my motivation, they not only participated in that international conference but also got the best paper award. Now in all these things that I've just shared, my share was not more than a catalyst. So it's not me who was there, but believe me, when they were at the podium, when they were having a podium finish, when they were getting that medals, when they were getting that trophies, the biggest smile or the biggest cheerleader for them was standing and clapping at the loudest, and that was me. So those small things, and even when I say this, I'm getting goosebumps, because these, I, in my back of the mind, I'm recalling each and every moment of theirs where they achieved it. They brought the law not only for them, for their family, for their institution, but also the best guru dakshina as a guru what I can receive.
Wow, beautiful. Okay. So, Professor, what's one myth about professors that you wish people would stop believing?
We do laugh, we do wit, we do enjoy as well. We are good cricketers as well. We are good dancers as well. So we are no other different to what the others or any other person for that matter is. And I'll tell you the beautification or the best part of an academician is they become a child with their children in the classrooms. They share their own anecdotes of what they did at the law schools or law hostels, and that's why we are also at one step ahead with them, that when we understand that okay, why they are not attentive in the classroom. So believe me when I say this, Amarji, in a class full pack of 60 students. As a teacher, I am writing something on the board nowadays with my smart pens. I do understand that the two of them sitting at the third corner of the last row, why they are not and what they are doing on their mobile phones. So this is something because we do have the same uh, thing. Couple of years ago we were sitting in the same place. So one myth is this itself, that no, professors are very serious people, they do have their own thing. That's the biggest myth. We do enjoy, we do become child with our children as well, but yes, there is a demeanor or a thing that we do wear as well. So it's just like a Harry Potter's coat that we are wearing on at many a times. So it's just on a fact that yes, we do crack jokes, and we do are the same human beings with the same blood group existing out there.
Wow, beautiful. Okay. So, my last question for your professional journey: what advice would you give to young professionals entering the world of academia for uh, teaching, curriculum development?
I guess my only advice to them would be one: do not take yourself or do not define yourself from the institution from where you are coming on to. You may be from an X institution, you may be from a Y institution. What really matters is the substance inside you. Have a confidence on yourself, believe in yourself. It is not a comparative chart that being drawn that, okay, Amirji is looking so handsome in wearing that pink blazer, and I am not looking that good in wearing that blue blazer. I am looking good, or the best rather, in my blue blazer. Amirji is looking the best in his pink blazer. So that exactly is when I say that I'm confident, I believe in my own self, and that is how I'll take that thing up.
Beautiful. So let's go to next round and understand Devanshu as a person. Tell us about your family and your formative years.
Um, I started off that. So I come from a family of lawyers, a fifth generation. Uh, Unfortunately, not the only lawyer in my family. I am still the highest educated when it comes to the law degree. So I did my BLLB honors, my LLM, my PhD. I'm pursuing my postdoctorate. Um, and I guess there is only one degree which law domain has. It's called in the LLD. I'll most probably be enrolling myself there as well. I come from, my birthplace is Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh, a place which is popularly known for two of the G's. One G stands for the Gorakhnath Temple, and the second G stands for Gita Press. Um, the a place that has taught me. So post my 12th, I moved to Bhopal for my higher education. I did my graduation, my post graduation, my PhD, my first job, and good spent 18 years before I moved to Gurgaon for 1.5 years, and then presently I'm at Greater Noida. So as what I said about place of Gorakhpur, the two G's, I guess G in my life is also playing very important role. So whether it was Gorakhpur, whether it was Gurgaon, or presently Greater Noida. So that's one thing. And formative years have been wonderful. I come from a distinctly caste family, which is a Chitragupt Parivar, as I generally call it up. It's a joint family. So that do has an impact in your upbringing. So you do understand the family values. And this has have been the formative years. I'm a diehard fan of cricket, not only as a viewer nowadays, but yes, I do play. My last thing was that we won the faculty tournament, and wherever this happens, so whether it's a big ground or nowadays it's inside that particular small net thing across, both the things have been very, very, very important.
Beautiful. Okay. So, Professor, after a long day of academic duties, how do you usually unwind or recharge yourself?
So I recharge. So one thing that I have been doing, I do write a lot. So I have my own blog for my poems. So that's one thing that definitely recharges me. So once I complete a poem, and I guess I'm gifted with that feature. So you just give me a situation and hardly take 5 to 7 minutes to write a poem on it. So it has been off lately. I've written to the wonderful cover drive of Virat Kohli, which he did. against Pakistan, of our
Wow.
ages of struggling towards of how the Australian test happened and outside of thing to I've converted that into a poem just to replicate my ideas of what is going on. So that excites me more. A good cricket match, playing, watching, whatever it is. So I still love standing in my balcony and seeing the kids playing in the night, and then how they are playing it up. So that also excites me. And I'm a great pet lover. Uh, so for me, it's not a dog versus cat fight anything. For me, a pet is a pet, which can even be a sweet bird, to rabbits, to dog, to whatever we can have.
Wow. Beautiful. Okay. So what's one fun fact that your colleagues or friends don't know about?
About me, you are, I guess this is made for me to spill all my secrets out. No, this was one of the facts. So very, very few people in this domain knows that I'm a poet. I do write. So that I've already disclosed on to. Another good fact, which very rare people know, is I'm a good cook. And it's been now more than 10 years that I've not kept a maid at my place.
Wow.
So I cook both the times for my own self, and I can cook anything in this world. So if it is a dish, I would definitely love to cook it.
Wow. So, Professor, what's your go-to book or movie when you need some downtime?
Uh, Downtime, I guess there are more than many books, or there have been movies which have been. A Pursuit to Happiness is one of those particular wonderful movies, which
Mhm.
is even today. I do remember each of those stories, each of these dialogues of those particular movie. A diehard Will Smith fan when it comes to Hollywood. Bollywood, there have been many. Dear Zindagi, I genuinely make it up that yes, for your mental health, which is again one of the very important things, where in now this competitive age we do talk less about it but should be addressing this at a length. So these are the two outside movies that I'll take it up to be taken on that point. But believe me, I am also like, I whenever I watch a movie, it's very selective. In fact, for that matter, last night I was watching a South Indian movie dubbed in Hindi. The movie title is Sir, and I request each one of my academic friends out here, or my young friends who are planning to take academics as their career option, please watch this movie called titled as Sir. And it's a movie around a teacher. Um,
Mm.
and this is with Dhanush as the lead star there. Coming to books, there have been many, and even today I've been. So I'll take the recent book that I'm reading right now. The book is titled as The Principles, which is one of the beautiful aspects which, as a human being, I would urge. We all do have principles in our life, and it is irrespective whether my principles would meet the likes of Amir ji or not. My principles is my principles. So that's exactly, and the only difference, when I, on a very lighter note, I say between a principle ending with LE and a principle ending with AL, the second one, I don't have an option to change, while the first one is entirely my thing to change it up. So the principles is that particular book, which presently I'm just on the last phase of it. You Can Win was one of, again, a very important books, that, as you say, would be an answer to like my downtime, to recharging it, to change it to the uptime itself.
Wow. Beautiful. So, Professor, what are your goals for 2025 personally and professionally?
I'll start with professionally first, because for me, work is worship. The work comes first. Is again, as we've been talking on to. So joined hands with the JL Bajaj Group to establish JL Bajaj Institute of Law, to launch it, with something that I really have been witnessing for past more than a decade now. That what all are the small loopholes that have been left onto, try not to have that loopholes out here. I would not say that it would be a perfect institution. A perfect institution do not exist in the similar way a perfect man doesn't exist. But yes, what all the loopholes that I've been witnessing, not only at the institutions where I was being a part of, or just to my conscience, as I've seen with other institutions, I'll try to bridge that gap and work on those loopholes to bring a better institution for legal education. So that's my professional goal. Personal goal is somewhere I say I align with the professional goal itself. But personally, as I said, and I answered that in the previous questions of yours, it's to finish my postdoctorate fellowship, which I'm on my last leg of it, and to enroll myself for the LLD program.
Beautiful. So, Professor, who has influenced you from the world of academia, or who has mentored you, and what key lessons did you learn from them?
Okay, so there have been three major pillars I would call. First and foremost was, and still she is, so is Professor Dr. Mona Purohit. She was my teacher not only in my graduation days, but I guess I did my PhD under her supervision only. She is presently the dean at Barkatullah University in Bhopal, the dean of the law school. Second such person is Professor Dr. Gayur Alam, who taught me the intellectual property right at my master's at NLIU Bhopal. A person whom, and I'm confessing this right now openly here, that a person whom I would aspire to be. The terms of knowledge he has, the terms of expression as a teacher he has, is just the thing that I idolize. And I'll be very honest, I have done that. So I'm not sure whether I have done justice to that particular thing. But one thing that I can say that these were the two people, and the third is Mr. N. Shukla sir. So he is still a teacher who has produced more than 150 judges. He runs his own coaching institute, both as a teacher and as a person. And I'll be very honest. He faced few of the very not so happening instances in his life, but when it comes to profession something, I guess that was one thing. um to add, this were my professional people. The personal is again my father and my elder brother. My father, because work is worship is what I have learned, or I would say I've inherited from him. And even at this time when he is like, and I'm pretty sure he's at the court itself and he'll be returning from this particular time. My elder brother is one because he gave me that, or I would say he injected me that thing, okay, that if you do not need anyone. So my taking of intellectual property rights as my first love in the law domain itself, he said you can do it and you can do it all on your own. He's been a brilliant scholar. And one thing that I always, I've borrowed a major of his books to study of what, how the way he has studied onto his notes, try to incorporate that. And I still believe he's a better scholar than me, for which he has always disagreed onto. But these are the two, I would say, personal inspirations for me, my role models, apart from my professional role models.
Wow. So, besides academia, you have passion for IPR and policy consulting. So, was there a specific moment that inspired this path?
I would say yes. IPR again, IPR, I fell in love when I was in my fourth years of my graduation. I fell in love because I understood that from morning when we all wake up to the night when we go to sleep, IPR is one thing that you are surrounded of. So even today, when we are talking on Zoom, it's a patented technology that I'm talking about. It's a trademark thing that we are talking about. We are surrounded. The pen in my pocket to the mic in front of Amit ji, all are trademarked. So this entire thing, you cannot you there is anyone like educated, non-educated, legal, non-legal. You can't separate a person with the IPR. So that was one of my points when everything is surrounded near me, outside me, within me is somewhere what an IPR is. Then why not to follow it as a passion thing? So I can say that a person can't survive with oxygen. So do I, but I cannot also survive without an IPR. So I'm not placing oxygen and IPR at the same level, but yes, this is how and what excited me to take IPR as a career opportunity. Policy consulting came on a very, I would say it was another gift to me the COVID gave, where I was fortunate enough to be the first or the founding head of the department for a public policy school. And that helped me to take the policy consulting out of it. So policy consulting, I've been associated with various other forums as their policy consultant. I've been taking up, bringing up, suggesting government DPDP is one of those particular suggestions. I also gave suggestions for how the other acts, and this again, I urge each one of you, the government, before making any act, at the stage of their bill converting it into an act, it's open for public for its comments. And I urge, please utilize this opportunity. It is not like the government on its own is trying to build out something. No, it is open for public for their own comments. And I urge, like presently the DPDP rules are up. It is now open for the public, the general public, to make their comments. Something that is our opportunity to make our voices getting recorded to the government. And this exactly is what I believe, that we should utilize these opportunities to take it. You should start writing. My recent articles have been something that I've analyzed the High Court judgments given by Delhi High Courts, particularly when it comes to IPR. And one, definitely a person who I'm recently very inspired of such wonderful judgment that she's pronouncing towards the IPR domain and developing an IPR jurisprudence in our country. Justice Mini from Delhi High Court. Ma'am has been absolutely, you read her judgments, you read her thing, absolutely pinpoint towards how the IPR should be developed and IPR should be jurisprudentially developed. Her judgments are wonderful, and this helps us to understand and to follow a particular domain for that one.
Wow, beautiful. So my last two questions, it will be a reflective one. What legacy would you like to leave behind?
Oh, I don't want to leave. And that's just one thing I generally would disagree in. Neither I followed a legacy, nor I feel that I'm that competent enough that I'll be leaving a legacy. The reason is only thing that the subject for which I'm following a legacy is IPR itself. And it is a vast ocean. I can't call myself to be an expert of IPR. I'm still a student of IPR. And I would never become an expert of an IPR. The only reason is that domain is that much that, so if I'm not an expert, I'm a student, I guess the question of legacy fades away. Similarly, I would request each one of us to deep dive into the subject that is there, and that's the only path one should follow, and that's the only path one should take it. It's not about me establishing something or a legacy to be taken on to. I would love to be called as an IPR scholar than to be called as an IPR expert. And the only reason is that there is things to read, the way it is developing onto. So I'm not dodging the question. I'm just ducking this question so that it's not about legacy that I have or I would like to have. No, it's only about that the domain itself is a legend. So IPR is a legend in itself. Follow IPR, don't follow Devanshu. That's my only answer to your thing.
Okay, nice one, nice one. Okay, so my last one, which will be a googly. Describe Devanshu in one line.
I defined it in my previous one. So I am an IPR student. And that is the two words that I will always love to. So adding to it, I'm a good student, I'm a bad student. Okay, I never consider students to be good or bad. Student in itself is someone who is having even a slightest inch of a urge of learning is a student for me. So I am an IPR student who is still learning how this wonderful domain, three-letter combined together, is developing as something huge. So I would still define, I'll borrow this thing and I'll request you to please allow me to use two words to define myself. I call myself to be an IPR student.
Wow, beautiful. Let's have some fun. The rapid fire round. Mood courts or symposiums?
Sorry?
Mood courts or symposiums?
Mood courts.
Your go-to comfort food?
Butter chicken.
Uh, your dream travel place?
My dream travel place, Gorakhpur.
Favorite color?
Black.
Early mornings or late nights?
Early mornings.
Greater Noida or Bhopal?
Bhopal.
Okay. The best piece of advice you have ever received?
Is to keep learning.
Wow. Okay. Your best food dish from Gorakhpur?
From Gorakhpur, litti chokha.
Wow. Uh, chai or coffee to keep you academically learning?
Any day, anytime, it's a chai for me.
But less risk too.
Yes.
So you did well, Professor, and
Thank you so
here's a
much.
book
Thank you so much.
to share with all the students out there. And if you need any more copies, it's PDF copies also available, but they need printed copies. We would love to.
Would
Uh,
love to have them
yeah,
in my
yeah,
library
yeah.
as well.
What I'll do is,
Especially a good legal library out here.
yeah,
And
yeah. So I'll send all other books, PDF copies, all autographed, and then you can
please,
put it
I
in
was
the
about to say that
library.
please autograph it and then send it. That would be a great thing.
Yeah, yeah. But I need a picture uh,
Definitely.
and the feedback and everything. So, friends, it was a lovely conversation having with Professor Devanshu Shrivastava, how he is helping to build the Jail Bajaj Institute of Law with his experience in the academic world. And if anyone wants to enter this field of academia, this is the episode where he wants to go in for teaching, for curriculum development, or building law college for legal professional. This is the episode to watch out for. Subscribe to the Coffee Corner Show, which has over 350 plus episodes with different subject experts. Get inspired, implement those learnings in your lives. And if you want to be featured like Professor Devanshu Shrivastava, visit our LinkedIn company page, the Emerging India Forum, our website, DM, and our team would happily invite you to have coffee conversation. So take care.
Cheers. Thank you, Amarji, and thank you the entire team for having me here today. It was a pleasure, and I do not know when this an hour or plus time went away. It was fun. It was thorough, and I hope I did justice. I followed your page. I saw the previous. I was not able to see all the 300 plus episodes, but few of them I saw, and I really hope I have done justice with this invite of yours. Thank you so much for having me today.